You know how it seems bad and it's chaotic and the enemy's going crazy? Well, when you step with your heel on the head of a snake, what happens? The rest of that snake's body writhes around, wraps around your leg, goes crazy, causing chaos.
Death throes.
But it's death throes. That's really the key. It's death throes because your heel is still on that snake's head. Doesn't matter what the rest of its body's doing. Its head is pinned and it's over for that snake. That's what we're seeing the Illuminati doing.
That's a beautiful analogy. Explain. That's amazing.
They are writhing around in pain and they're going crazy, and you're seeing all this chaos because they're in their death throes. We're literally witnessing the Illuminati's death throes. It's grab your popcorn time, sit back, relax, pray to God, and enjoy the show.
We're here with John Abiskaran. He's a Coptic Christian. And he was breaking down the prophecies of Mark Taylor, who in 2011 was documented in 2012 in major Christian magazines predicting that Donald J. Trump would become the 45th president of the United States and that it would signal a major global revival. Now, I've talked to so many great pastors that I really respect, like Rodney Howard-Browne and others, and they've talked about this fact. And now that you see Trump delivering on the mass arrest of pedophiles worldwide, delivering on the return of our republic, standing up for Christian rights, it is unprecedented. You have the Pope, who's not a real Catholic, but a Jesuit globalist, openly calling for the end of Christianity, open borders to Islam, not defending Christians being slaughtered all over Africa and the Middle East. This is biblical times. But John, he was here with his children. I was here with my children. We're here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in the newest land on the earth, last touched by God here, the real Garden of Eden, Hawaii. And I ran into this guy. He's a very humble guy, but he's very well spoken, very charismatic, very passionate. So I wanted him from another angle just to get into the current state we are, how we are witnessing prophecy right now, and what an amazing time this is. And I hope he'll repeat the things he said in the last few hours to me. But he's got the floor right now to lay this out to you. Please take over, my friend. God bless you.
Thank you, Alex.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. So basically what I was talking with Alex about before is really the heart of the matter of what's really going on here. Why the whole establishment is against Donald Trump. It's not because they don't like him and they don't like his personality, they got a beef with him. No. Because they understand what's really going on up with Donald Trump. You see, Donald Trump, according to this prophecy that came out back in 2011, look it up, Mark Taylor, just look up Trump prophecies. It's going to open up a whole world to what's really going on here. So basically, imagine if I came to you, Alex, and told you, hey, in 2024 or whatever, the next election, in a few years, Eddie Murphy's going to run and win and be president. That's out of left field. You'd be like, what are you talking about? It's the same thing as if somebody said Donald Trump's going to win. And the purpose of it is, and if you look up the prophecy, you'll see what it was. You see, the New World Order, the Illuminati, they've been wanting to make a one-world government. The problem is that there's a big boy in the way. It's called America and our Constitution, which is protecting us. So what you saw for the last several years and several presidencies is that they've all been on the same page, the agenda to bring America down to its knees, to the level of the rest of the world, in order for them to implement a one-world government. You can't do it with a big boy in the neighborhood like America. It's in the way. The West, too. The West has to fall. America has to fall for them to make a one-world government. Now, you know that God's a nationalist and Satan is a globalist? And I could prove it to you right now. It's the Tower of Babel story. That was the first one-world government in the ancient world. And they wanted to build a tower to reach the throne of God and dethrone God. Idiots, whatever, Nimrods, fine. But the point is, this first one-world government, what did God do to stop it? He smote them with the different languages, instantly creating the different nations of the world. He wants us separated into different nations. He's basically saying, look, we're going to have a one-world government in heaven, in my kingdom. But while you're on earth and Satan's running around, I want you separated into nations. Because when you get together with a one-world government, you become arrogant and do stupid stuff. That's what happened in the ancient world with the Tower of Babel under Nimrod. And that's what's happening, what they're trying to do now. The New World Order, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. They are Luciferians, straight up. And they want to make a one-world government in order for the Antichrist to take his seat. See, they know the Bible better than you and me. And they're trying to make things happen in order for the Antichrist to take his seat. However, God has made his move. And what that is he brought in this guy out of left field. The last person we would have ever expected to be president. Donald Trump. And he prepared Donald Trump his entire life for this job. The job of dismantling the Illuminati. Think about it. Look at all that's been happening. No man could go through what this man went through and is going through now with the entire world, the entire establishment against him like this, and with all the money and power and elitism trying to stop him. This man should have been dead a long time ago, and he certainly shouldn't be president. The fact that he's president alone, we witnessed a miracle. That's all it had. It had to be a miracle for him to win. I mean, they were cheating in the elections. Everything was against him. The entire media and everything, and somehow he still wins. That alone is a hint that it was an act of God. Also,
Hillary's own campaign people said they couldn't believe it.
Nobody could believe
As you're
it.
speaking, I've got to butt in. As you're speaking right now, a rainbow has just appeared. You said an act of God, and in the last few seconds, this
That's
rainbow
pretty
appeared
cool.
behind you.
That's pretty cool because God's around. He's doing everything, and he's in the trenches right now. In fact, when you understand what's really going on, it's a lot of fun because you get to watch God dismantle the Illuminati before your eyes. And he's using Donald Trump like a blunt force object. Donald Trump is basically an agent for God. It's not that it's Donald Trump doing everything. It's God doing everything using Donald Trump. Even Newt Gingrich, I don't know if you guys saw this interview. During the election, they asked Newt Gingrich, how come both sides are against Donald Trump, including the Republicans? I mean, aren't the Republicans risking Hillary winning by going against him like this? And in a moment where God seemed to have zapped Newt Gingrich to tell the truth, he did. You know what he said? And look at his words. He said, well, that's because Donald Trump was never initiated. He was never part of the club.
He was never part of the secret society.
He was never part of the secret societies. He was never part of the Illuminati. But then Newt Gingrich said, however, he knows everything that goes on in the club. And that's why everybody that's in the club is afraid. You see, the reason why they're against him isn't because they hate him. They don't like his personality. The fact that they call him orange or whatever. All this stuff, that's nothing.
He's anointed.
That's why. That's why. This is a spiritual thing. Even the demons that these people are possessed with, they can't stand it. They understand exactly what's going on. That Donald Trump was sent and anointed by God to dismantle the Illuminati. Now, you might ask yourself why. Because a lot of people think that America is under judgment and that it deserves judgment.
This is key.
This is not the case at all. You see, we have an example in the Bible of Sodom and Gomorrah, which received judgment and was destroyed. But there's another city or nation in the Bible that we should concern ourselves or think about. Nineveh. Remember the story of Jonah and the whale? And Jonah went and told the people of Nineveh, and they actually repented. America is Nineveh, not Sodom and Gomorrah. And America is anointed by God. Think about it. It was created in the recent times of our timeline. It just showed up in the neighborhood. I mean, it's only 200 years old. It's like God preserved it for the end. And it's used, and it's the only country in the history of existence created in the name of the Judeo-Christian Bible. The forefathers, our forefathers of this great country, they mention in their memoirs, look it up, that when they were writing the Constitution, they had an open Bible there, and they got every idea for the Constitution straight out of the Bible. Inalienable rights, what's that? It was a radical idea at the time. Inalienable rights means that your rights are given to you directly from God, and only God could take away those rights. Before that, your rights was given to you by the government or the king, but no, not in America. In America, your rights are given to you by God. Whether you believe in God or not, that's the case. However, the enemy's been attacking. You see, there's people in this world that are jealous of America, that hate America, that don't want America to be America. But they could never come at us headstrong. We had the greatest, most powerful military in the world, the greatest economy in the world. They could never come at us in conventional terms and attack us head on in a battle or in a war. No. They had to do the alternative, the Trojan horse style. They have been doing a multi-generational plan to bring down America. And they've come in through our country, rising their way up through the ranks and getting themselves in position of leadership in every single facet of our society in order to bring down America. And that's what they've been trying to do. And suddenly, we're witnessing a 180-degree turn with Donald Trump. In fact, they're taking several blows. Brexit was a blow to the New World Order. The rise of Trump was a blow to the New World Order. And now other countries are going to get out of the Brexit, get out of the European Union.
The euro is falling as we speak.
It's falling as we speak. Now, in the prophecies...
Soros put 80+ million in to prop it up. It's failing.
That's right.
Nothing they do now works anymore because God decided to, I guess, take action. He gave him so long, but now the tide's turned.
Yes, the tide is turning. As a matter of fact, you're going to see, according to the prophecies, the dollar become stronger than it's ever been in its entire history. It's going to be, America is going to be the number one most greatest powerful country, the pillar of the world, the light of the world once again. And I think it's because it's the one country in the history of existence created in the name of Christianity. Is that,
Keep talking,
Alex?
brother.
Okay.
You're
All right.
on fire.
All right.
We
Now
got
here's the
rainbow
thing.
behind you.
Yeah. It's a beautiful rainbow.
Stays over there.
This place is beautiful. Hawaii is beautiful. Now, the thing is, when you look at what Trump has been doing, let's think about what Trump's been doing since he took office. He's been laser focused on one agenda and one agenda only. Make America great again by destroying the Illuminati. And that's what he's been doing. Think about it. TPP, getting us out of TPP, that was totally hurting the Illuminati because they're globalists. They're trying to set up a globalist system. The whole thing with the Paris climate thing, all of it. He's getting us out of that stuff and basically unfurling, undoing everything the Illuminati's been able to do to us in all these several decades in the past. And it's driving them crazy. It's driving them crazy, and you could see it. And then you see Donald Trump being protected. This is an anointing. This is an actual holy protection that's put on him. Because any man would have been dead a long time ago.
I'm just saying this now. I remember hearing about the gentleman, let's talk about him in a moment, years ago, and I never really clicked. Today you got in my face in a nice way. Your daughter and my daughter were together in the pool. You said, listen, why have we talked about it yet? I'm like, I've known about it. I haven't. Then I went and looked it up, and I looked up on the Wayback Machine, 2011. He did say this. Let's start with, we're kind of here at the middle, but let's start with what we're talking about the guy that was the prophet for this.
Sure. Mark Taylor is a fireman, good old American, regular guy. He was a fireman for several years, I think 20 years in Orlando, Florida, and he's close to God. God picked this guy, simple guy, regular guy, nothing special. He picked this guy to communicate to the rest of us of what his plans are to dismantle the Illuminati. And so Mark Taylor's been getting visions and receiving word from God about what's going to happen. Now, look, when we normally hear this about people getting visions from God and receiving word from God, you got to always, think twice. Well, okay, is it really or is it not? The thing is about Mark Taylor, literally everything he has said, which came from God, in detail, has come to fruition. It's unbelievable. When you go back and look at those prophecies and read them and see them or hear them, you're going to be shocked at how every step has been coming true, and it's going to continue to come true. According to the prophecy, America's going to be awesome, and it's going to be used as the launching pad, as the home base for the final harvest, because God goes out as a winner, as like a surge. Like, remember in the war, the surge? This is a final harvest before the end times. And he's pushed the end times, giving us more time, giving us a reprieve in order to get together, pray. That's what we got to do. We got to pray. Even if you don't pray, start praying. Because that's the real ammunition that brings down the enemy. We're in a real war here. That's what life is. People ask, what's life? Life is a war. It's a war. It is good versus evil. It is a dualistic world.
Look at Hollywood, the whole media. They hate Christians. Look at Hollywood, the whole media. They literally hate Christians. They admit the persecution of Christians doubled the last 10 years.
Yep.
They absolutely admit that if they can extinguish that, they believe they can then be God.
Atheists should have absolutely no regard for Christianity. They shouldn't even care. Think about it. Are you a Buddhist? No, you're not. I'm not a Buddhist. Do you ever think about Buddhism? Does it obsess you? Does that upset you? Do you go after it? No, you don't. You don't even think about it because you don't believe in it. A true atheist wouldn't care about Christianity. They just look at it as just another religion I don't believe in, whatever. Why is there a vitriolic hatred towards Christianity? Think about that. Because it's a spiritual war. It's a bloodlust, because it's a spiritual thing that we're talking about here, people. Not necessarily, the people may not even realize, but if there's a demon inside them, or if they're not with God or walking in the world and in the worldly evil world, they're naturally going to reject what's from God. That's why you see people rejecting Donald Trump. But however, the good news is there's millions and millions of the silent majority that understand what's going on, and they're supporting Donald Trump. That's why he won. How did he win? Think about it. How did Donald Trump win?
And I love the spirit of it. They know he's not perfect. He's a wrecking ball. He never was a hypocrite. They instinctively from the beginning understood that it was a weapon against the enemy. Like you said, the way he just doesn't even care what they do to him.
They don't. In fact, in the prophecy, God said they will speak against him. They will throw all the darts. The enemy will throw the darts at him. They'll do everything they can, but it will roll off his back like the water rolling off of a duck. Just like the feathers protect the duck, he's protecting the Donald Trump. Alex, I wanted to mention something to you really quick. The day, you see numbers, symbolism, it's a big deal to the Luciferians. That's why you see symbolism everywhere in our movies and corporate logos and everything. Do you know why? This is how the language to break the veil, to go to the other side of the veil. They do rituals that open up portals. Demons come in. They get their powers from those demons. That's how it works. That's why God had a real beef in the Old Testament against doing any kind of divination, sorcery. Not because he doesn't like it, because it has a real effect in this world. It's what breaks the veil between this world and the real world on the other side.
It's dangerous. People don't know.
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Never touch a Ouija board. Remember that. Now, Numbers is a big deal too. Now you know that number 666, is an evil number. However, number 7 is a holy number, a very holy number. And the day of the inauguration for Donald Trump, the day he put his hand on our Bible and swore in to become our 45th president, on that day, Donald Trump was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old on that day.
That was even in the New York Times, and I even knew what he was going to say in the speech, and I said he's going to call for God back in the covenant. He's going to announce they're going to release secret technology. And the New York Times came to me and said, how did you say that 5 hours ago? Did you talk to the president? And I said, no, I just knew it. That's on record.
That's right. Now, you understand what's going on with Pedogate and all of that stuff? You see, the enemy's been doing a lot of bad stuff. They've been kidnapping children. An average of 800,000 children get kidnapped in America every year. And they make a big deal out of a handful of them spread out throughout the year, Amber Alert and all that, so that we subconsciously think, oh, when a kid gets kidnapped, they make a big deal about it and we hear about it. And they don't mention all the others and all the rest. You know what Donald Trump's been doing since the day he got president? He's been going after the pedophiles. They've been doing raids after raids. Of course, the media doesn't mention this. You got to look at it. Look into it. Seek ye the truth. That's an order from God. Seek ye the truth, because when you go after the truth, you end up to God. That's no matter what. You go after the truth, you end up with God. And look it up. Donald Trump's been sending raids, capturing and finding children in cages waiting to be tortured and ritually sacrificed. He's been saving people. He's been saving children, and he's been arresting pedophiles like crazy, raid after raid.
And that's the thing. It shows up in local news. We cover the news every day. It's everywhere. It's like every day, but never national news. Never. And then they panic more and more, and they have NAMBLA now coming out at the UN, coming out on Vice, coming out at the Huffington Post, coming out on Salon saying, oh, it's okay. So they're trying to normalize it now. It's pure evil because they're vampires. They psychically want to feed on the children. They can't actually sacrifice them. They want to suck their essence out and ruin their innocence. So spend a few more minutes then on the big plan. Some of the more
future.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, so what we've been seeing is
a bigger plan.
Yeah, there is a bigger plan. Basically, first of all, North Korea. I watch what's going to happen. That regime's going to fall. The people of North Korea are going to be freed. There isn't going to be World War III. There isn't going to be World War III from North Korea. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is that the North Korean regime will fall. They're going to merge into one country and just be a normal country, Korea. That's what's going to happen. Donald Trump's going after Iran now. That's next. That's the next big threat to the world. He's going after them, and that regime that's controlling Iran is going to fall because, believe me, the people of Iran, they want to be freed. They tried to do a revolution when it happened in Egypt, and the Egyptians kicked out the Muslim Brotherhood. They saw that, and the people of Iran said, let's do it too. They tried. What did Obama do? He snuffed it, stopped it, and basically didn't allow it to happen. But now that Trump's president, the Iranians understand that, and they're thinking, hey, this is our chance because Trump's going to help us, and he will. He'll help the people bring down that evil regime so that we can have peace in the Middle East. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. What you're going to witness is the media one day will start talking good about Trump. I know that sounds crazy. I know that it's probably better odds for the moon to crash into the earth before that happens. But it's going to happen because Donald Trump is doing such an incredible job running this country. That truth will come out no matter what.
They even said last week, like, oh my God, everything's turned around, but it's not him though.
Oh yeah, they're trying to say that, but everybody understands. There's only 1 out of 10 people believe them at this point. Most people don't believe the media anymore because they're waking up. Every day people are taking the red pill and waking up.
And let's be clear, I'd love to give Trump all the credit, and I do, a lot of it for everybody. But it's God, exactly. God. And the globalists have been suppressing us by design in their own admissions because, as you said, America is not the most evil country in the world. It's been given providence. It's just been invaded and taken over because they were threatened by it. Explain that to people.
Okay, when you look at the spiritual thing, okay? Well, first of all, God's work in the world. Did you know that 90% of all helping the poor in the world comes from America? 90% of evangelical work and spreading the word of God comes from America.
And we're only 5% of the world.
We're only 5% of the population. 90% of the orphanages that are owned and run and operated in the world are owned and run and operated by Americans. 90% of God's work in this world comes from America. And people think that America's under judgment? No, no, no. The people aren't under judgment. The corrupt government is under judgment. The people that are the elites that are controlling this country and trying to bring it down, they're under judgment, but not the people and not America. America, the opposite is going to happen. It's going to be blessed.
Great points, my friend. There have been a lot of other great points to me. Anything you would like to finish at?
Let me think for a second.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Are you ready? All right. The most important thing to remember here is this is a spiritual battle that's manifesting itself into the physical, and we're seeing it everywhere. The most important thing is to understand we need to support Trump, not because he's Trump, because God put him there. So we're supporting God by supporting Trump. We got to pray. That's the real ammunition we have against the enemy, and that's really what the enemy really fears. People getting on their knees, opening their hearts to God, to the Lord, and praying for them, for God to help us, to help America, help the world, and get rid of the Illuminati, and to help and protect Donald Trump and his family. And it's happening, but we have to continue. The moment we let up on that, it's over.
Keep going. Look at that rainbow the whole time you're talking.
Beautiful rainbow. Look at that.
The whole time you've been talking.
And that's a symbol of the future. That's a symbol of the future. The symbol for America. We're coming in for a great number of years of prosperity, of blessings, but we have to be the true lights of the world, and we have to use it as an example. And the spiritual revival that's happening in America and will continue to happen, we're going to start seeing it manifested throughout the world, thanks to Jesus Christ, because he knows what he's doing. And right now, the real reason, you got to remember, why the enemy is so upset with Donald Trump is not because they're upset with him. They're upset with God, and they know what's going on, that their days are numbered, they're in a corner, and it's over for them.
Great points, John. Here, let's make one more point.
All right.
I know this. They have been fundamentally scared of him since the beginning, and I'm not some perfect person, but I love God. The way they've been enraged by me, and the way they want to intimidate Trump supporters, because Trump just gives us a chance to realize there could be a better future, not under these people. And the fact that they know their whole system's coming down and that all of it is being exposed is really an amazing moment for humanity right now. And it just really is great, because, I mean, we've been here, and everybody feels like, oh, you're in Hawaii, it's all liberal. Man, I probably met 300 people the last day I've been here. People are on fire. They're awake. Yeah. You guys want to come on air with us? God bless. I mean, it's just an amazing time right now to be alive, and again, it doesn't mean things are perfect, but it means humanity is coming out of a time of being under the spell of evil.
Can I add one real quick? You know how it seems bad and it's chaotic and the enemy's going crazy? Well, when you step with your heel on the head of a snake, what happens? The rest of that snake's body writhes around, wraps around your leg, goes crazy, causing chaos.
Death throes.
But it's death throes. That's really the key. It's death throes, because your heel is still on that snake's head. Doesn't matter what the rest of its body's doing. Its head is pinned, and it's over for that snake. That's what we're seeing the Illuminati doing.
That's a beautiful analogy. Explain. That's amazing.
They are writhing around in pain, and they're going crazy, and you're seeing all this chaos because they're in their death throes. We're literally witnessing the Illuminati's death throes. It's grab your popcorn time, sit back, relax, pray to God, and enjoy the show.
And then I've used the example of everything they say is the opposite. They call themselves the Illuminati. God illuminates and brings light to the world. They claim that they're bringing light. Well, what is that quandary in the Bible where Christ the morning star, but also Lucifer is the morning star? Right. I mean, is that saying he composes that?
What happens is that the Luciferians take literally everything that's of God and put it on Satan and give him the title or the credit or whatever. For instance, the one eye. We all know about the one eye. Originally, that was the one eye of God. And then the Luciferians took that to make it to mean for them the one eye of Lucifer. The pyramid. The pyramid in the ancient world, look this up. It's, you know that verse that talks about how Jesus is the cornerstone and the capstone at the same time? The only shape that could do that is the pyramid. Originally in the ancient world, the pyramid represented God, the creator of the world. And then here's Satan taking that symbolism and using it for himself. The rising phoenix. People think the rising phoenix is a symbolism. Well, it is. The Luciferians are using it as their own symbol, as they stole the rising sun. But the rising phoenix originally was always in the ancient world, in early Christianity, a symbolism of Jesus Christ rising from the dead. That's what a phoenix is.
And in closing, you talked about this. They got a movie coming out about Jack Parsons called Strange Angel.
Right.
He was explained what he did with Crowley on record, and there's always this sweet guy. No, Crowley reportedly killed his own son in a ritual.
Yes, actually, Crowley was one of the wickedest men to ever live in the world. If you look up this guy and do a little research on him, it's going to blow you away. And he's completely worshipped by Hollywood, by the Luciferians, by the elites. This guy's a pillar in their history and all that stuff. But he went to the pyramids in Egypt to do this crazy ritual back in the 20s or 30s or something. He took Jack Parsons with him, and Well, part of the ritual, of course, as many of you understand, their rituals are sex rituals and blood rituals, and it's nasty. They got to do the nastiest stuff in order to gain their worldly stuff that they got to do. It's a miserable life when you think about it. The reason why they're doing it is they're trying. They want to degrade the image of God. We're made in the image of God. We are made in the image of God. You are made in the image of God. Don't forget that. And so when Satan has his minions doing all these terrible things, rituals, blood rituals, sex rituals, homosexual rituals, all of this stuff is to degrade the image of God in any way he can. In fact, think about that from now on. Don't degrade the image of God. Don't degrade yourself. It's very important. Now, and what were we talking about right before that, Alex?
You were getting to Parsons.
Yes, Jack Parsons. They went out there, look this up, it's fascinating. They went out there to the pyramids. He did this crazy ritual that he studied for years to do this one ritual, Alice Crawley. And he took Jack Parsons with him. He had to anally rape him before the ritual, as part of the ritual. And they did it. And this opened a portal, and a real demon manifested to Aleister Crowley. And basically, Aleister Crowley, he drew the image of what he saw. If you see that image, looks like the alien Greys. So don't forget, the aliens are demons in disguise. There's no aliens from other planets. They're demons in disguise. The Bible talks to us about a final deception on mankind that's going to be the ultimate mother of all deceptions.
The pyramids have like Apache helicopters carved in them and everything.
Yes, yes. Well, the ancient world had people. We're finding out a lot of stuff. In the pre-Diluvian, the deluge was the flood. So the world before the flood, if you understand what that world looked like, it was very different than here. Did you know that there was higher advanced technology in the ancient world than here? The Bible tells us people lived for 800, 900 years at that time before the flood. After the flood, God shortened our lifespan out of mercy. Because when you live for 800, 900 years, that's that much more time for Satan to corrupt your soul. You could start out life as a good guy, but by the time you're 200, 300 years old, you're a jerk. And by the time you're 800 and you're 900 years, you're a wicked person. That's why God had to do the flood, amongst other reasons. But he shortened our lifespan. But people, think about it. If everybody lived for 800, 900 years, how much technology did they have? Look what we could achieve living 80, 90 years with an average career of 30, 40 years. Well, imagine if everybody at the same time had an 800, 900 lifespan years and an average career of whatever they're doing, 30, 300, 400 years. By the way, they were smarter and more intelligent. Do you know why? They were closer to the original DNA of Adam.
They admit the DNA now has been proven, it's been breaking down.
It's been breaking down. Like when you take a picture of something and then you photocopy that image and photocopy that, and what happens to the image? It degrades. That's where we're at. We're several generations removed from it. But if you get closer to Adam in generations, they were stronger, faster, smarter.
And they've now dug up the bones. They're saying twice as strong. People even 1,000 years ago.
That's right. They were. And so think about the technology they had. That's why you see, there's a verse in the Bible that says, there's nothing new under the sun. What there is now existed before in the ancient world. You can't look at see, the Bible says, you can't say
Plato
this.
writes about it, and everything else he did, they admit is history. So what was Atlantis from your research?
Atlantis was definitely one of the, it was actually the ruling state of the ancient world. It was. It was a one world government in the ancient world. And this is before the flood. Remember, the Tower of Babel was after the flood. But I'm talking about right now before the flood. And before the flood, Atlantis, that's why it was buried in the flood. That's why it's underwater.
Well, mainline historians, talk about Plato being accurate, but they all ignore the fact that there was flying machines, they had free energy, then it blew up.
Yes. And there's pyramids all over the world, not just in Egypt and Mexico. They're literally all over the world. Look it up. You'll be shocked. They're all over our oceans, all over every continent. The pyramids were an ancient world grid system because a power grid system. You see, our technology today is based on electricity. The technology in the ancient world, pre-Diluvian, was based on magnetism. That's why they were able to levitate stuff. It was beyond us. It was more advanced than us. And this evidence is everywhere, and they've been hiding it from us, but they can't hide it anymore. You see, the internet, both guys, God uses the internet and Satan uses the internet. And God's using the internet to reveal the truth. Jesus said something very interesting. He said, there will come a time when all the secrets will be revealed. The light will shine in the dark and hidden places of this world and reveal the truth to everybody. And you got to ask yourself, what secrets? So there's secrets? So Jesus, you're talking about secrets. What secrets? What secrets is he talking about? Well, we're in that time right now when all those secrets are being revealed.
And in closing, I'll say this, John, you made a lot of good points. The point is the elite believe in all this. They want to keep it suppressed, but we know this. We have 30, 40 years of technology suppressed. B-2 bombers were out in the 60s. They didn't announce them to the 80s. And Trump has announced that they're going to release all these different treatments, all these different cures. That's really pissed them off. The left says, oh, let somebody have government-sponsored assisted suicide, but if they're terminal, don't let them have an experimental treatment. How obvious is that? So we saw him say, we're going to unlock the secrets of the universe during his inauguration. That made them so upset because they covetously want to suppress that.
That's right. They always want to keep the knowledge and technology and information to themselves. But in spite of them, God's releasing it to the rest of us. And all they could do is watch and get frustrated and bang their head on the wall. Let them bang their head on the wall. Their time is up. By the way, remember this, and it's in the Trump prophecies. This isn't me talking. This is God talking. They're all going to be arrested. They're all going down. Every single last one of them. Be patient. It takes time to set it up. That's what Trump's doing. You got to set up the evidence. You got to set. The firefighter said, this is one of the things he said. They're all going to go down, and it's going to take some time for the white hats. There's good guys in our Pentagon. There's good guys in the military. There's good guys in our government that know what's going on, and there's a secret war raging behind closed doors right now.
Well, they admit that whole spy war is happening now.
Yeah, all the spy wars that's happening, and Trump is the leader of that. He's the leader of the white hats. And Soros is the leader of the black hats.
What do you think they're going to do as the tide turns? I think the tide's turning.
Oh, the tide's turning now. They're going to get even more desperate, so they're going to do more desperate things. But remember, based on everything we've been talking about, you're going to see them frustratingly, defeatedly fail at everything they do. Just like they have. Think about it. Everything they've tried to do against Donald Trump has failed. Every person who's gone up against Donald Trump, from the elections on, any media person, anybody who comes up against Donald Trump, what happens to them? What happens to their career? Look at Megyn Kelly. Look at any of them. Any of them. They suddenly, it's over because he's anointed. This isn't a coincidence. It's like, hey, you want your life to be okay? Don't go against Donald Trump. Go with Donald Trump.
John, very impressive. Just spend a minute or so at the end. People, you're interested, gather, want to know about you. You're saying you're a Coptic Christian. Explain that. You say Egypt's going to be Christian again. Talk about that, because Pastor Rodney Howard-Browne's talked about that. A lot of people talked about that there's going to be a big revival in the Middle East.
Well, there's going to be a big revival in the Middle East. It's happening right now. There's people converting in secret from Islam to Christianity. There will come the day when they're going to all come out, and it's going to be a shock to the world at how many people are actually converting to Christianity in the Middle East. Look at Russia. There's been an Orthodox Christian revival that's been going on there that like nothing you've ever seen. Putin has been going after the Illuminati from the other side. I believe they're going to do a pincher move between Trump and Putin. I think that's what's really going on here. And it might seem like and who wants Russia to be the enemy?
Like you said, the
who
Illuminati
keeps pushing?
Sees the pincer attack. It's not the collusion they say, it's spiritual collusion.
That's right. It's a spiritual collusion. And who keeps pushing that Russia's the enemy? Who hates Russia? It's Hollywood. The left. It's Hollywood. It's the media. They're pushing because they know what's really going on. That actually Russia is helping in bringing down the Illuminati. Well, thanks to Putin. And including, now here's the thing. You got to understand, it's going to look ugly sometimes, but see through it. Be patient. You're going to see the light at the end of it. In fact, we're seeing it now. It's already started to happen. And there is a spiritual revival that's happening in America, and it's going to pour out throughout the rest of the world.
I just confronted Sanders. He looked so defeated.
Yeah. Did you see the expression on Bernie Sanders' face? Did you see when he looked up and saw Alex Jones? The expression was like, "Oh my God, what do we?" And he knows what Alex Jones has been helping in this effort, in this war. And Alex mentioned earlier, because I always watch Alex and I support Alex, and I was thinking to myself, when's Alex going to start mentioning the Trump prophecies? I knew it was coming. I knew he was going to run across it, and run across it. It's going to be revealed to him. He's going to know all about it. I had no idea it was going to be me, but hey, I told God to use me as a tool.
You even saw the Bernie Sanders thing and said, oh, wonder where Alex is flying. Wonder if we're going to the same place.
Yeah, that day I was flying out too on the same day. I'm like, oh, so Alex is going on his vacation. I'm going on my vacation. I wonder where he's going. Next thing I know, I'm in the swimming pool. I run into Alex Jones. This is how God works, by the way. This is how God works. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is by accident.
All right. God bless you, brother. We're going to stay in touch. If somebody wants to email you something watching, or how do they get in touch with you?
You can email me at johnabiscaron@yahoo.com. So I'm going to spell my name John, A, B as in boy, I, S as in Sam, Karon @yahoo.com.
And tell folks who Abiscaron was.
Abiscaron was a 3rd or 4th century Coptic Christian saint, Coptic meaning Egyptian Christian saint. He was a warrior saint, and what happened was when his bosses in the military found out that it was the Romans, that he was actually a Christian and not a pagan, they told him, listen, man, you got to be a pagan. We're going to take away your rank. They started torturing him, and he stuck it through and died as a martyr. That's Saint Abiscaron. And we got to go through the same thing. We got to stick to it, and we got to stand with our Lord, and whatever his agenda is, make it our agenda. Make it your agenda too. Right now, God's agenda is to destroy the Illuminati through Donald Trump. It's like God told Satan, okay, you could take the whole chessboard. You could take every piece on the chessboard on your side. I'm just going to take one piece. Give it your best shot. And that's what's been happening.
What's wild is I've never seen a rainbow last for 34 minutes.
Through the whole interview. Thank you, God. You're awesome.
It started right when you mentioned that.
That's
God,
crazy.
Miracles of God.
That's amazing.
Amazing. All right, great job. God bless you, John.
Thank you. God bless America, and God bless you. Take care.
INFOWARS.com.
That's right.
Newswars.com. If you're watching this transmission, you are the resistance.